how did that process start and where does it start actually?
So moving to the UK was a very personal decision. So one of it was the work-life balance in India, which I was not very happy with. So then I looked for a country that had a better work-life balance.
Yeah. So what's the minimum point you have to take? Like what are the...
I'm not aware of the points for OET because I didn't write it,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I wrote IELTS and the minimum is at least 7 in each domain.
Main question for me is like people watching from India or elsewhere, they'll be asking like, do I need to come to the UK to write these exams, or like how does it work?
Okay, so the IELTS exam is something that you can write from anywhere in the world.
What is the approximate cost for that?
So PLAB 1 approximately costs about £250 to £300.
Okay. Go into the PLAB 1 itself, like what kind of questions do they ask?
So PLAB 1 focuses on the theory that you've learned in med school. So that would be from your first year to your final year. Anyone who's preparing for the PLAB 2 exam would be that practice. Because reading through theory will not help you because you have to be spontaneous and...
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Hatman. So in this episode, actually we are going to talk about the doctors who want to come and work here in the UK.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So mainly from India or anywhere from
Any
the
international medical graduate.
Okay, any international medical graduate, if they want to come and study in the UK, there's a process. There are like a couple of exams you have to do, and then eventually you get your license, and then you move into a job here. And I would like to welcome Tarunee to our show. Vanakkam Tarunee, how are you?
Vanakkam, Anna. I'm
How are you?
alright.
Yeah. So actually we do it in Tamil, but like recently we have started in English because lots and lots of people who are outside Tamil Nadu, you asked us to do it in English so that you can understand. So this topic is more to do with medical. So I'll be asking a lot of questions on like, it may be a layman question,
That's
but
all right.
please forgive me. But let's go into the topic now. So the main thing is like when a person who does IT like me, so I came here, no exams straight away. We came here and we found a job and everything was fine, hunky dory. Okay, but when you come here, the process is completely different. So you did your degree. So you did your degree in India?
I did my undergraduate program in India.
Yeah, where?
In Coimbatore, PSG
Okay.
Institute of Medical Sciences.
Okay, one of the best. Yeah? Yeah, then?
And then I moved here to work.
Okay.
So I haven't done a postgraduate degree at all. So I've just done my undergraduate degree in India and then I moved to the UK to work.
To work here.
Yes.
So, and where did you do your schooling?
I did my schooling in Dubai.
In Dubai, okay.
Yeah.
So you did your schooling in Dubai, then you did your master's, undergrad in India. So you had to go through that examination called NEET?
I wrote NEET, yes.
You wrote NEET, okay.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you finished all that, then you decided to move to the UK. And how did that process start and where does it start actually?
So moving to the UK was a very personal decision. So one of it was the work-life balance in India, which I was not very happy with. So then I looked for a country that had a better work-life balance.
Yeah.
And the second thing was UK provides fully funded training, whereas in India you have to pay for your training to complete your postgraduate degree.
Yeah.
And also that it's a less expensive process and internationally rather than USMLE or any other country. It's still expensive, but it's less expensive than other countries.
Okay, so that's the reason you wanted to just come
UK, yes.
to the UK. Why not Dubai?
So in Dubai, I don't know why not Dubai.
No, can you use the same license or is there a different process for that?
So in Dubai, you would have to write a DHA exam, either a Dubai Health Authority exam or a UAE Health Authority exam. I think it's Ministry of Health exam to be able to work there.
Yeah.
But before you can write that, you would have to work in India for a whole year and or have a degree from the UK colleges or the US colleges to be able to work there.
Okay.
And that was just not an option for me because I wanted to move here.
Move
That's why,
here, okay. So now let's dive into the process itself, like what you have to do. So once you decide that you have to come to the UK to work, so what are the things you have to do?
So I think the main thing would be to see what exams you've got to write.
Yeah.
So the first one is an IELTS exam or an OET exam. So this is your language exam. And the second one would be the licensing exam itself. And this is in 2 parts. That's the PLAB 1 exam and the PLAB 2 exam. It's recently being renamed to UKMLA.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So no more PLAB then.
Yes, but
Okay.
well, we can still call it PLAB, but
Yeah.
it's the same exam. It's just being renamed as UKMLA, which is the UK Medical Licensing Assessment Exam.
Okay.
Yeah.
UK MLA.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I know MLA. In India, it's called Member of Legislative Assembly.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's called UK MLA, not PLAB anymore. But yeah, you can still address it as
Yeah.
PLAB. So now coming to the point of IELTS. So you said that you can do IELTS, or there was another equivalent of that. What was that called?
That's OET. It's
OET.
called Occupational English Test.
Yeah, that's specifically for healthcare people.
Yeah.
So yeah, so either you can take this, or it's not a must that you have to write OET, right?
No, you can either write IELTS Academic or you can write OET. The only
Okay.
difference is that IELTS Academic will still be a general form of testing. So if they're going to ask you like a speaking topic or a writing topic, it would be on general everyday things. Whereas OET is more healthcare related.
More connected to healthcare.
Yeah,
Okay,
so if you're
okay.
struggling with everyday English, but then you're still confident with your clinical English, OET might be the best test for you
Okay.
because they test mainly on clinical basis rather than a general everyday speaking.
Okay. So what's the minimum point you have to take? Like, what are the?
I'm not
marking-
aware of the points for OET because I didn't write it,
Yeah,
but I
okay.
wrote IELTS, and the minimum is at least 7 in each domain. That is speaking, writing, listening, and reading,
Yeah.
and a 7.5 overall.
7.5 overall. Okay, so you completed that. So once you've done that, so the main question for me is like people watching from India or elsewhere, they'll be asking like, do I need to come to the UK to write these exams, or like how does it work?
Okay, so the IELTS exam is something that you can write from anywhere in the world. So is the PLAB 1 exam. You can write this from anywhere in the world.
The PLAB Part 1 can be
The
written.
PLAB Part 1,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
And the PLAB Part 2 exam has to be written in the UK, in Manchester. There's only 2 exam centres, and both of them are in Manchester.
Both are in Manchester. Okay, that's fine. So the PLAB 1 exam, so IELTS is complete. So we understand what you have to go through, like what is the point system. So we are looking at around 7.5. That's fine. Now, PLAB, you said that to write the PLAB 1, first thing first is like you have to register yourself to GMC or something.
Yes.
So can you explain that process,
Yeah.
please?
So the first step of doing the whole PLAB pathway would be to make a GMC online account. So by making this will be a portal through which you can upload your results, book exams, and also view your results.
Okay.
So the first step would be to make a GMC online account, and
Can
then
we do that Can we do that from India as well?
yeah, and it's like an online account. So you
Okay,
just
you
have to
can-
go onto the GMC website and make an account with GMC online.
Fine. Okay.
You don't really need it's free. You can make an account for free, and you don't really need any massive details for it. It's just your email ID and basic things
Do
like
you
that.
need to pay anything?
No, it's
Oh,
free.
Oh, it's free.
Yeah.
Okay. The main thing is like the other question I have is, this can be done after I write my IELTS, or like we can do it before itself.
So you can do you can create a GMC online account after you write your IELTS, but then you definitely need it after you get your IELTS results, because only when you update your IELTS results onto your GMC online account and they verify those results, will you be able to book a PLAB 1 or a PLAB 2C.
Okay. When you say update, then you have to upload your
Upload our results on
okay,
there,
and
and
then
then they have to
verify.
verify it, and only then can you even book a PLAB 1
No, okay,
exam.
fine,
Yeah.
got it. So once you are done with your IELTS, you upload it. You paid something for the IELTS as well. You might
Yes.
have paid something.
Yeah.
How much is that? Like around 160?
About £160.
Yeah, you
yeah.
said that you're going to update all the rates soon.
Yeah.
Once you update it, we'll run it past them.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have it on the screen. So the next one is PLAB 1. What is the approximate cost for that?
So PLAB 1 approximately costs about £250 to £300.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. So once you're done with your PLAB 1, so we'll talk about PLAB 1. Overall, how much money we are looking at?
You're looking at about close to £3,000 as an estimate
Okay.
for your PLAB 1 for your PLAB pathway itself,
Yeah, okay.
which starts from your IELTS exam, your PLAB 1, your PLABable question bank, and then any revision courses you book, and your UK visa to come to the UK to write the PLAB 2 exam, your PLAB 2 exam itself, and then your GMC registration. All of this overall costs about £3,000.
Yeah, that's the maximum, right?
Yes.
Okay, £3,000. Okay, now let's go into the PLAB 1 itself. Like, what kind of questions do they ask?
So PLAB 1 focuses on the theory that you've learned in med school.
Yeah.
So that would be from your first year to your final year. Anatomy, biochemistry, physiology, pathology, pharmacology. Basically all of the subjects that you've learned from year 1 to year 4.
Okay.
You've got they test that knowledge in terms of clinical or case-based scenarios.
Okay.
And it's a multiple choice question exam.
Fine.
And it's a written exam, obviously.
It's a written exam. And for that, like how much, like I know that you might have taken around 3 months or 4 months. Like what is the best time
Ideally,
to
I
invest?
would suggest that you have about 2 months exam. Sorry,
2 months
sorry,
to
2 months to prepare for the exam.
Yeah.
Because then that gives you enough time to prepare with the question bank and then to do a few mocks to
Yeah.
be fully prepared for the exam.
Yeah, okay. So generally 2 to 3 months is a good time to invest for that.
Definitely.
So once you're done your PLAB 1, you've completed it. What's the pass percentage for that?
So the pass percentage, it's percentile, so it changes in every exam. But I think the minimum is 50%
Okay.
of the total score.
Total
Yeah.
score. So once you're done with that, so you have to upload that information in the.
So because the PLAB 1 exam is done from GMC itself,
So directly it goes
yeah,
in.
so it's
Okay, that's
directly
fine.
uploaded into the
Okay,
account.
that was a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so once that is done, then you go to the PLAB 2 exam, right? So that's why you said that you cannot directly go and write it because it's a practical exam.
Yeah.
Okay, and for that you have training sessions as
Yes.
well. So how does that work?
So, like any exam, you need to prepare for the PLAB 2 exam, and that's very different from the exams that we write in India. It's a clinical-based exam. It's an OSCE-based exam, moreover, and most medical students would know what OSCE means.
Yeah.
Most academies in the UK offer virtual and offline courses, and these courses usually run from 10 to 14 days.
Yeah.
And then the academies itself suggest about 2 to 3 weeks before your exam, so you can prepare and practice with your colleagues that you meet here in the academies and get a grip of the scenarios.
Okay, so you spoke about something called virtual as well. So people watching this from India or outside UK, they'll say, okay, can I do the whole course as a virtual course before coming here?
That is possible. So some academies do offer you a full virtual course, whereas some academies offer you a mix of virtual and offline courses. So it really depends on what kind of learning you want to do. Are you able to come to the UK? Do you already have a job there and you're not able to come here, or a family? So in that case, you can choose a full virtual course, and you can attend mocks online as well. There are plenty of people who do mocks online.
Okay.
And
Then finally
you can prepare for the exam that way too.
Oh, that way too. Okay. And how did you prepare?
So I personally came down to the UK to prepare for my exam. I attended a virtual course back home for like 7 days, and then I came here for an offline course for about 10 days. And then went to the academy every day to prepare with friends that I met in the academy, and just basically simulated as patients for each other and then practiced.
And so what is the process like? You were talking about like a lot of different rooms you have to go through. Like, can you explain that, please?
Right. So the PLAB 2 exam has got 16 exam stations, and we've
That's
got 2.
called a station.
So each room is called a station.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 rest stations. So it's 18 stations overall, and takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to finish your exam. And it's like a massive hall, which can be intimidating at first. And you've got like little rooms throughout the hall. And you get a minute and a half to read the question from outside the hall.
Oh, okay. They display
They
the
have a question outside the hall.
Okay.
And then you go into the room, and then you get 8 minutes in that room. And you have to like ask the patient. So there's a patient there's a person who's simulating as a patient there, and you've also got your examiner in the room.
Yeah.
You go in there and treat them like a regular patient. Ask them what's wrong, why they're here in the hospital. Try and figure out what's their diagnosis, and then give them a management plan and examination or investigations depending on the station.
Okay.
And you come out and move on to the next station. So you've got 16 stations like
16.
that.
By the end, you're completely knackered. And
Yes,
you have
absolutely.
To go, you just want to go
Yeah.
home. So when can you rest? So you said there are 2 stations where you can have some rest
Yeah.
and think about things.
So in between stations, you've got 2 rest stations. I'm not exactly sure in between what 2
Yeah,
stations, but
that's
it's quite spaced out in your
Spaced
exam.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So now the thing is like you said that the examination is 8 minutes. There'll be an examiner, and they'll be noting down. So what are the criteria they're looking for?
Right. So they look for 3 main domains. The first one would be data gathering. So how well you ask a history, and how well you do your examination or investigations. And the next bit is your clinical management. So the patient may have lots of questions about the diagnosis you've given them. So how are you managing that situation, or what management options are you providing for the patient is what they look at.
Okay.
And the third one is interpersonal skills. So it just depends. Have you got the emotional intelligence to read the room? Have you got empathy for the patient? If the patient's sad about something or happy about something, are you able to reflect it on them? That kind of thing. Just so they know that you can be an empathetic doctor.
Yeah. So I think that the communication is the key then. Like you should be
Definitely, yeah.
definitely be very fluent in English. Yeah.
Um,
You don't have to be fluent in English. At least you should be able to communicate it.
Definitely,
Properly.
yeah, definitely.
So okay, then that takes a lot of practice as well, right?
Of course. My
Yeah.
main, I think, advice for anyone who's preparing for the PLAB 2 exam would be that practice, practice, practice. Because reading through theory will not help you, because you have to be spontaneous and you have to be able to talk to someone. So it's really good practice to like find online friends or find colleagues from the same academy to just sit together and practice for hours every day.
Okay.
And that will give you the hang of it.
And how, like, did you have good colleagues to practice with?
I actually had excellent friends to practice with, and I really enjoyed practicing with them.
Okay.
I would go sit in the academy from the morning
Yeah.
and take quick, just lunch breaks and coffee breaks. But we had such a good time simulating as patients for each other. And we would also like be the examiner. So that way we learned what to look for. So when we did that station, then we would be like, oh yeah, so I shouldn't miss this. Or it's really, constructive criticism really helps you
Okay.
Pass this exam.
So have they got their own jobs now? They're all
Lots of
settled
them
down?
have,
Okay,
yes, lots
that's
of them
good.
have.
So this sounds like a movie practice for me. Like we have workshops.
Yeah.
So when I go for a short film here, we'll have our own dialogues. We'll sit together and we'll practice with each other. Then we'll change our roles, and then again do it so that we know the perspective of the other person
Yeah.
as well. And the third thing is, you rightly said that in our previous episode in Tamil, you said that you have to take it in, then give it out in your own way, in your
Yeah.
own style.
Yes.
That's the difference you can bring to the table, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's easy to just mug it up or like
Memorize
memorize
it.
it, and then just say it, which doesn't make sense at all,
Yeah.
right? And they'll be the examiners, they'll know. They
Absolutely,
exactly,
yeah.
okay. And they're all doctors?
The examiners are doctors, and they've been doing this for years. So
Okay.
when we follow like academy scripts and things, it'll be so easy that everyone's saying the same word,
Yeah.
and then they'll pick it up that you've learnt it from
Learned,
somewhere.
yeah.
Whereas if you're approaching the station with your own authenticity and just
Authenticity,
as
yeah,
yourself,
that's the right word, your authenticity.
yeah,
exactly,
if you're
so-
just going to the station by
Yeah.
as yourself,
Yes.
then you will use your own vocabulary,
Yeah.
and that just makes it so much better.
That's
yeah.
great. That's great. So it's so interesting that like you go to a room, then you have 1 minute or one.
You have 1.5 minutes to read the question outside.
Just 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'm very slow at reading, so I directly failed there straight away. So one para or something about the para.
It's a few sentences normally, about like
sentences.
4 to 5 sentences.
Sentences,
Just
you
being like, for example, it's like a 50-year-old man has come to the A&E with such and such complaints.
Okay.
So it just gives you a general idea of what to expect when you go into the room.
Okay, that's great.
yeah.
And then you start from there straight
Yeah.
away. 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Lovely, really great. So yeah, fine. So once that's done, then you again go and update it.
Again,
GMC,
same thing. Because
same
the
thing.
exam is conducted by GMC, they will upload your results onto the
Okay.
portal by themselves.
So PLAB 2 is also like directly uploaded. So once that's done, then it goes to the process of getting your license, right?
Yeah.
So you have to again apply for something, or once it's done, they automatically the process for getting your license starts.
So you have to apply for a full GMC registration,
Okay.
and you would have to pay for it at that step.
Okay.
And it gives you full registration with a license to practice. So this will allow you to apply for jobs and actually be able to practice in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you do it? So you came here, you did your degree, so you did your course, you finished your PLAB 2, then what happened?
So when I finished my PLAB 2, I made the choice to do a clinical attachment here because I was
Yeah.
a fresh graduate and I didn't have much experience when I finished my undergrad.
Mm.
So I did a clinical attachment for 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of my clinical attachment, I also received my PLAB 2 results, and that was
Okay.
positive.
Okay.
So I went back home to Dubai and I started applying for jobs.
Okay. How long did it take you to get a job, first job?
Normally, I would tell people it takes about 3 to 6 months to get your first job. I was quite lucky. I got my first job within a month of my GMC registration.
Beautiful. Okay. That was 2023, is it?
2023,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And I also think that working on my CV really helped me get there. Like paying attention to detail, paying attention to person specifications really helped me get that job in the first 1
Okay.
month of my registration.
So I need to understand about the clinical attachment as well. Definitely, you would have put some effort there to get the
Yeah.
job. So how should we take this? Like, if you get a opportunity to work with someone, what are your tips or advice?
Right. So a clinical attachment is basically an observership. And I would suggest that everyone applies to these or emails consultants about these after you've received your PLAB 1 results. This gives you enough time to get a feedback from them and arrange dates of when you want to do the clinical attachment.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, obviously. And the second thing is be as involved as you can during the clinical attachment. It's a new system. You've probably got loads of questions. And the good thing to do is ask questions, learn about the system, and try and be involved in just daily activities like ward rounds, handovers, and any meetings that they've got. Another thing to do is to try and do an audit while you're at the clinical attachment.
Okay.
This will give you an audit that you can add to your CV and make a big impression with the consultant because you're interested in doing something.
So I didn't get
clinically.
what audit means. Can you explain?
Right.
what that's
So audit is basically when we measure the quality of something that happens in your workplace against an international or a standard guideline. So let's just say, for example, you've got... the most classical example that anyone would know as a doctor is that when you identify sepsis or when you suspect sepsis, which means that it's an infection, you have to do the sepsis 6, which means like you have to take blood cultures and you have to give antibiotics, the two main things within the first hour of identifying or suspecting sepsis. So that's a standard international guideline. So does your hospital or does your workplace follow that guideline? So that's called an audit. It's where you audit the quality of the skill that you're doing against a standard international measure.
Your process against the standard international.
And then
process,
you obviously find out how much you're meeting it, and then if you're not meeting it as well, then you do like a meeting or a presentation where you talk to your colleagues about it and about how to improve meeting that standard. Really.
Fine. So that's a lot there. So once you're done everything, so you get a job and then off you go, and you've been here for 1 year now?
I've been here for a year now.
Yeah, you're happy with what you're doing?
Absolutely, I love it.
Yeah. What's your specialization?
So I'm interested in pediatrics.
Okay.
My first job here was in Wales, and it was in pediatrics. I worked there for about 5 months, and then I'm currently working in a neonatal post. So I work in newborn ICU.
Okay. A lot of babies.
Yeah, lots of babies. Very cute.
Very cute. Okay,
yeah,
that's
but
good.
I've been working here for about a year now.
And what's your future plan?
I've applied to pediatrics training this year. Fingers crossed I get in.
Okay. So for the training, like, do you need to do something to get it, or like just apply?
So we just it's just an application. So mine is pediatrics, and it's a run-through training. I don't have to write an exam for it, so I just have to apply. So I make a portfolio and I apply. Whereas there are other training programs for which you have to write the MSRA exam. I haven't really looked into that because, I mean, obviously I'm interested in pediatrics.
Fine.
So, yeah.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So apart from this, like, I think that I need to talk about your own Instagram as well. So you when did you do this? Like, you used to help people coming over to UK to write PLAB and everything,
Right.
and you explain the whole process in you've created a beautiful PowerPoint where it explains from step 1, step 0 to step 25. So where can they see you? What's your Insta handle?
So my Insta handle is all things Tarunee.
All things Tarunee. So all things English, I know Tarunee. TARUNEE, not NI. Okay.
Yeah.
I did a mistake and she said no, just to add 2 E's. Okay, so Tarunee, actually she has, you had a break now, right?
Yeah.
How long the break was for?
Not too long actually. So I've had a bit of an Insta break from like I would say August 2024.
Yeah, because of a lot of other things you're busy with.
Yeah.
And now you're coming back. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. So when 2025 starts, I'm going to start bookings for PLAB 2 mocks.
PLAB 2. What did you do before?
Yeah. So I started this page after I finished my PLAB 1 exam because at that point there weren't as many people talking about PLAB or explaining what the process was really. And I wrote my PLAB 2 exam, and then I figured out that people have a problem understanding exactly how to write the PLAB 1 and PLAB 2 exam because it's very different from exams we do in India.
Yeah.
So I started this page. I conducted a few webinars that you can find on my Instagram link still.
So it's
on
still
my bio.
there.
On my bio, my links are still available.
Yeah.
I also conduct PLAB 2 mocks, which are quite affordable.
Yeah.
And I do CV reviews.
Okay.
So at that point where you've gotten your GMC registration, you're applying for a job. If you need to tailor your CV, if you need someone else to have a look and kind of modify or alter it to suit the job better, then I'm your person.
Okay. So this is the one which you used to do, then you stopped it, and again you're coming back to this.
Yes. So I will be opening bookings again from Jan 2025.
So Jan 2025. So for that, what you have to do is just follow the page and wait. Yeah?
Yeah.
You will say stand by.
Yeah.
And one day you'll get a message. So the main thing will be so for that, like they register to you. So will you announce courses, or it's just runtime on a base?
So I normally put up stories, obviously,
Yeah.
because I'm working full time.
Yeah.
It depends on my work schedule. So I normally put up stories at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance, telling them what dates are available, and they can book slots in with me, and then I can send them a payment link, and then
Is
things
it
are
one
just,
to one, or
it's one to one.
Oh, okay.
It's one to one, and although it does say it's a 1 hour webinar or like a 1 hour session, I do take as much time as the person
fine.
needs.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they can ask as many
Absolutely,
questions they
yes,
want
absolutely.
to. Okay, superb, Tarunee. Thanks for your time. I would like to ask more about this. We'll dive deep into certain conversations later. Once these guys like you so I'll give you one info now. So you, if you have any queries, anything, you can just leave it as a comment, and you can also follow Tarunee on her Instagram page and ask her any question. Tarunee promised, like Bhagavad Gita promise.
Yeah.
She said that she'll definitely answer you. She's really busy as well. You know that she's working, and as a doctor, definitely if you're going to apply for any jobs, I know that you'll be going through the same process. So you will definitely know how busy the doctors are here in the UK or anywhere in the world. So you'll get an answer maybe 24 hours or 48 hours.
I try to answer within 2 to 3 working days.
2 to 3 working days.
yeah.
So that's really good. Very safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 to 3 working days, you'll get an answer. So just the best point of contact, like where should they contact you?
I think the best way to do is to send me a message on Instagram and to not just send a hi or a hello, but to just send your question as well. So then when I do get time, we don't waste time like being like, hi, how are you, who are you, and all of that, and I can just directly get to your question, because then that saves you time and that saves
No
me a lot of time.
pleasantries, yeah? They straight away come to the
pleasantries
point.
is wonderful, but then sometimes when you're in the process and you're looking for an answer, people just want answers, and that's, I completely understand that.
Now, because I go through this on a daily basis, people every day they leave a hi, then I'll say hello, then hi Anna, how are you, then hi.
Yeah.
So the main thing is just one para or something, one sentence or one query saying that this is the question I'm here for. Are you available? Can you give me some time?
Absolutely,
It
yes.
saves time for both of us,
Absolutely.
right? Like anyone. So that will be great. And thank you very much, Tarunee. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you so much.
So if you are like, you're from Tamil Nadu and you want this, you want to see this whole episode in Tamil, we have a Tamil version released on London Tamilan. Please go and watch it there. And this is for English, and maybe we'll do another Hindi soon. Just joking. Thank you. Bye-bye.